19 astro weather forecast. I hope you guys had an awesome March 2019. Mercury retrograde was completely crazy. It was really hardcore for me, really hardcore. All sorts of stuff happened. In terms of technology and being the business that I'm in, it was really hardcore. So I hope you guys fared better than I did. This month is going to be even a little bit crazier because we're going to have 3 of the major players turn retrograde this month, and I'll get into that shortly. But the good news, all of it is actually good news. This month is going to be highly creative, very romantic, very sentimental. We're going to have Venus and Mercury in Pisces, which is the sign of compassion, sensitivity, romance, elated experiences, magical experiences, all that stuff. And while Venus is transiting there, people tend to be a lot kinder, a little nicer, a little sweeter. It's really good for romance, really good for poetic things, creative endeavors. Those of you in the arts, it's really, really good for that. And Mercury there as well. The only problem is that we can feel like it's not really good for focus. It's not really good for paying attention to details. It's really good for being creative, getting involved in charitable causes, but it's also a good time to communicate with difficult people because they're going to be a little bit more sensitive to your situation. So if you've been waiting to have a difficult conversation with somebody, this month is the month to do it. It's really good for reaching out to somebody that maybe you have a difficult time communicating with, or that you need to ask for a favor, because people are just feeling a lot more generous and sensitive during this time period. Again, it's really good for romance, okay? And this month is going to be really good romantically for you guys. We got, Venus and Mercury will both be transiting, while they're transiting in Pisces, they're going to be in your 8th house of other people's money and resources, okay? Which means that you're going to see an increase in money. Venus transiting there typically brings about offers or money offers, and the 8th house is other people's resources, government money, taxes. Yes, April is usually tax season, so it could be from that, but it also could be from other resources, or other people, or other situations, such as any type of investments you've made, okay, it's covered there. Also good for lotto, winning the lotto. The 8th house also has to do with government money. Those of you that have been waiting on something, it could come through now. People that owe you money could suddenly pay you the money back during this time period as well. But you'll definitely see an increase in your finances while Venus is transiting through Pisces in your 8th house. Now, please keep in mind that you guys all have your sun signs at different degrees. So for some of you, you may be already feeling the effects of this. And for some of you, it might be a little bit later in the month. You have to find out what degree your sun sign is. But also listen to your rising sign, because both houses will be affected by transits, and you'll see them happening in both equally the same, okay? So let's take a look at what's happening besides that. Okay, so you guys are going to see an increase in money. Money's going to be coming to you, which is always a good thing, right? Jupiter is transiting in Sagittarius, and it's going to turn retrograde on the 10th, okay? So it's all about reviewing. Whenever planets turn retrograde, it's the best time to go back, go over, and make better, improve, refine, perfect, okay? That's what was happening during Mercury retrograde. A lot of websites were down, a lot of things were happening, people were improving, fixing roads, doing all sorts of stuff. That was my situation. There was a bunch of building work, road work, computer issues, networks down, all sorts of stuff, and it was very, very frustrating for me. But with Jupiter retrograding in your 5th house of love, romance, creative self-expression, and children, this could be, for those of you involved in the creative field, you could look to get responses for jobs that you were trying to apply for or trying to get during the retrograde motion. Again, things come back to you from the past. They come back to you from the past, you revisit them from the past, and you try to fix them, or other things that you started, other projects you might have started, any creative endeavors, writing a book, writing a script, anything like that. During the retrograde motion is the best time to perfect it, rewrite it, fix it, all of that stuff. People from the past also come back. Job opportunities from the past come back. All sorts of things do. It's like rewinding in time so you get a second chance, okay? Being in your house of fun, love, and romance, you know, those of you looking for love, you have a really strong opportunity of meeting a very compatible partner for you with Jupiter there, okay? Those of you that have children, you can have them visiting during Venus retrograde. If they're adults and they've moved away, they could come back and visit you, spend more time with you. It's also the house of gambling, leisure, and having fun. So some of you might travel or plan to travel. Some of you might... those of you involved in any sports or things like that, you have a lot of luck on your side as well, because it has a lot to do with that. But definitely having a lot of fun is going to be on the cards for you guys. Now, because you guys all have your planets in different places, some of you might be receiving difficult aspects from the outer planets like Saturn or Pluto that could be making things not as exciting for you. You'd have to look at your personal chart for that, or you can get a personal reading. But overall, Jupiter transiting the 5th house is a time when you can find love, spend more time with your children, have luck in sports, okay? Some of you might take more risks in gambling, but definitely having a lot more fun, okay? Being invited to parties, being invited to outings, stuff like that as well. Saturn and Pluto are both turning retrograde this month too, okay? So it's going to be a little crazy. Pluto is all about power, okay? The power that you have and the power that others have over you. And it's also about setting proper boundaries with other people. Saturn is as well. Saturn's about refinement, perfectionism, and karma, but he's also about setting boundaries with other people. And this is happening in your 6th house of daily routine, work, health, fitness, along with coworkers. So with Pluto transiting there, some of you might have had power struggles with coworkers. You might have been dealing with situations like that. And if you have, while it turns retrograde, it's a good time to heal or fix those situations for the betterment for you to be happy at work, or let go of those situations. Any type of red tape situations involved with people that are difficult to deal with, are controlling, manipulative, anything that has to do with Pluto like that, Pluto will ask you to let go of these people or to try to find a different situation or to fix the situation in some way, shape, or form if possible. Because people tend to act up right before Pluto turns retrograde in order to show you who these people are and whether or not it's worth it for you to hang on to them or let go of them. And this goes for relationships as well. If you're involved in a relationship where you feel like the power is unbalanced, things can heat up there and you'll be asked to either let go or to fix the situation. Saturn is about karma too. So if you haven't been taking care of your health, health issues can arise while Saturn turns retrograde, and it's a good time for you to take care of those, to go to the doctor, to change your diet. This is all about health and fitness and refinement and perfectionism and your daily routine and coworkers. So these areas are going to be revisited and tested, and you're going to have to make some decisions in regards to these areas. So like I said, it's a good time to go to the doctor, to go to the dentist, to go do all these things if you've been having issues. Saturn rules the skeletal system, bone system, teeth, all that stuff. So while Saturn's transiting the 6th house, if these are areas that you've been neglecting, Saturn doesn't bring anything about. He just shows you what you haven't been doing. And he wants you in the best possible health, in the best possible shape. So he's going to show you what's potentially going to go wrong. That way you can take care of it. And the same thing goes for Pluto. Pluto likes to dive deep. Pluto is about you setting up boundaries with people, you being able to be independent from any situations financially with other people that are controlling you. You're going to be asked whether or not it's worth it, whether or not the attachment is worth it while they both turn retrograde. And Jupiter's going to turn retrograde on the 10th. And Pluto is going to turn retrograde on the 24th. And then Saturn is going to turn retrograde on the 29th. So by the end of the month, mostly March is, May is going to be a little bit more difficult because that's when all the planets will be retrograde since Saturn's not turning retrograde towards the end of the month. Now, we are going to have a new moon on April 5th in Aries. And this is a moon about courage, willpower, energy, but it can be about conflict as well. because it's Aries is ruled by Mars, and Mars is all about you know, pure energy, not unfiltered energy. So people can be frustrated or aggravated, or you know, if things aren't working out in their way or in their favor. People can be more aggressive while the moon is in Aries. So you do want to try to steer away from any conflicts. But the new moon is happening, like I said, in Aries, and that is for you guys in your 9th house of long distance travel, higher learning, politics, government, all these things. So a lot of you could be starting a new course, learning something new. Some of you might be finishing school, like, you know, closing out and finishing, because new moons are about endings and beginnings. Having it in your 9th house is really about expanding your horizons, okay? Expanding your horizons, expanding your knowledge. So after this new moon, some of you might decide you just want to start researching new things, learning new things, expanding new things, perhaps traveling. Some of you might make traveling plans. That's what the new moon is going to be about. It's about endings and beginnings. So again, some of you might be ending a course and starting a new course, things like that, or deciding you want to further your education, deciding you want to learn something new for your particular job or field, getting involved in that as well. Venus and Mercury are transiting your, like I said, your 8th house of other people's money, so you're going to be increasing your finances there. Jupiter's in your 5th house of creative self-expression, excuse me, having fun, children, so you're going to be expanding that area as well and reviewing all these areas. So you know, your 6th house of health and fitness is an area that's going to be in focus, especially with Pluto and Saturn turning retrograde there. So you do want to heal any situations with coworkers. You do want to heal, take care of your health, change your diet, do anything like that for sure, okay? Because Saturn is karma and Pluto is intense experience. So you definitely want to really focus on those two, on that area specifically in April while they turn retrograde. Mars is moving into Gemini, and this is your 11th house of friends. So you guys are going to feel a lot more social, getting involved with friends. But Mars is pure warrior energy, so it's possible that you can get into confrontations with friends as well, because everybody tends to be a little bit more frustrated, a little bit more aggravated, or just determined, okay? You could be coming across a lot stronger in the friendship group as well. But it definitely points to a time where you'll be a lot more social. Some of you might be growing your network, okay? You're going to be spending time growing your network because this is where you're putting your energy. So Mars is your energy and your action in the house of friends, groups, affiliations, associations, even philanthropic things or charitable causes. You'll be putting energy into there, okay? So a lot of you will be expanding your network, spending more time with friends, being more social, especially with Jupiter retrograde in the 5th house of fun, okay? So there's a lot going on there. You're definitely, it's really a month of expanding your knowledge, spending time with friends, socializing, and then taking care of your health, okay? Focusing on taking care of your health and working out things with coworkers for you guys. But you're gonna see some extra money this month, definitely. And also Venus transiting in Pisces and Mercury in your 8th house is a very sensual time. So as far as finding love, it's a very powerful month for finding a romantic partner. Those of you involved already, it's a really good month romantically, especially with Venus in Pisces and Jupiter turning retrograde in your 5th house of love. So there is a focus on, there is benefits coming in money, coming in love, and the areas that you got to watch out for or focus on taking care of is your daily routine, relationships with coworkers, and your health, okay? Because those are where the 2 planets that are a little more difficult are turning retrograde this month, okay? So there's also going to be a full moon in Libra on the 19th, okay? And that's going to happen at 4:12 a.m. And this is going to be in your guys's 3rd house of communication, traveling, local traveling, neighborhood, environment, all of that stuff. And also technology. So you guys might be upgrading your technology. You might get some messages or illuminations about situations in your life. Some of you could buy a new car or get a new lease or something like that after this full moon. Some of you might decide to. You might decide to do this because the full moon is illumination. Like, oh, you know, I think I should do this. You know, I think I should do that type of thing. Being in your third house. So that's really positive. I mean, there's not really any negative stuff this month. It's really, really, really romantic. The only thing is your guys' health area is really being concentrated with Pluto and Saturn. So that's really the area that I would really focus on, is taking care of your health, okay? Especially during the retrogrades, because that's when it's about, that's what the focus is if you've been having health problems, the focus is about going and taking care of those, okay? So there's a lot of really good aspects this month too. Like I said, it's a very creative month, a very romantic month, just in general because of the Pisces energy. And there's a lot of aspects happening in Pisces. So on the 2nd of April, Mercury in Pisces is going to conjunct Neptune in Pisces. Okay, so again, this is your 8th house of other people's money. So this is a good day for money. Okay, you guys might get a message about money, you might hear about money, or you could just acquire money. Okay. But it's not a really good day to sign a contract or make any major decisions if you haven't already evaluated them previous to, okay? Because Mercury is our mind, our thinking process, and we're not really focused when it's in Pisces, and when it's conjunct Neptune, it's like a double whammy. It's very creative for starting creative endeavors, for writing out poetry, for writing a book, for filming a movie, for anything that has to do with that. Coming up with new dance moves, whatever it is, it's very creative for that, but it's not really good for focus, okay? Not really good for paying attention to the details. That's what Saturn's about. So the day that Saturn is involved is on the 7th, when Mercury in Pisces is going to sextile Saturn and Capricorn. And again, this is in your 6th house of health, fitness, wellness. Everything's happening in your house of health, and also your coworkers. So this Mercury Pisces sextile Saturn and Capricorn, this is actually good because we're talking about your 8th house of other people's resources, emotional support, all of that sextiling Saturn in Capricorn in your 6th house of health. So this is good. Somebody can come through and help you or give you some ideas, or something from work could be really positive because it's coworkers as well. You can get some information about a coworker or something that maybe is going to help you with something. On the 10th, Venus in Pisces is going to conjunct Neptune in Pisces. So again, this is very romantic, okay? This is a very, very, very romantic day. And it's also a good day to ask for something from somebody that maybe you have difficulty asking them for something, or maybe you feel like they're going to have a bad response to your request, because everybody's going to be feeling supersonic, compassionate, sensitive, and dreamy on that day. So if you need to ask for something, or you need to ask somebody for help, or if you need to have a difficult conversation with somebody, that's a good day to have it. Venus in Pisces conjunct Neptune in Pisces is also very romantic for setting up a first date, for setting up a date with your significant other. It's a very, very romantic time. Also very good for creative endeavors. Again, this month is very romantic, very creative. On that same day, though, Jupiter is going to turn retrograde in Sagittarius in your 5th house of love and romance, too. So there'll be a lot of reviewing that area. And on the 11th, Mercury in Pisces is going to square Jupiter in Sagittarius. And this, again, is an overly optimistic day where dreams can come true. And you know what? I'm an advocate for that. I believe that if you believe it, you will see it. So Mercury in Pisces is exactly that energy. But again, it's not a good day to make solid decisions that require contracts or details or things like that, because you'll be thinking overly optimistically. But it is a good day to manifest, to make a manifestation board, to write down your intentions of what you want. Also on the new moon, always on the new moons, always on the full moons, okay? These are energy portals for you to put into action your intentions of what it is that you want, and it really works. So definitely do that. The new moon in Aries on the 5th, and the full moon in Libra on the 19th. But On the 11th, Mercury in Pisces square Jupiter is the pie in the sky type of aspect, and there can be misunderstandings too. So just be careful. Just make sure you double check the details and things like that. But it's very creative and very romantic again. On the 12th, Venus in Pisces is going to sextile Saturn in Capricorn, and this is a better day because Saturn always grounds everything. It's the planet of realism and stability. So it could be a day where you further your relationship commitment. For those of you that are involved or dating, you could definitely do that because you'll be feeling very romantic and also at the same time stability oriented. So it's also a good day financially, okay? Because Venus rules over money and finances, and Saturn in Capricorn is about building solid structures. So it is, and it's a sextile aspect. So because Venus is in Pisces in your 8th house of other people's money, you could definitely hear about a money opportunity or receive money on this day, literally. On the 14th, again, I'm telling you, Venus in Pisces is aspecting a lot of things this month, and this is like very creative month, very creative to write a book, to write a poem, to make a short film, to if you're in the arts, go out and audition. I mean, it's just a fabulous month for all that stuff. It's just not really good for the details. But on the 14th, Venus in Pisces is going to sextile Pluto in Capricorn, and this is a steamy day, okay? Because Venus in Pisces is highly romantic and Pluto is extremely passionate. So this is a really good day to set up a date too, or to just go out with your partner. It'll be a fantastic day for romance and passion. It's also a good day, again, to redecorate, create stuff. Venus rules over all the things that are beautiful, and Pluto adds in that behind the scenes thing where he's not going to let you be delusioned by anything. Pluto is about seeking the truth, looking behind the scenes, like what's really there. But it's really, I just see this as a very steamy energy for a passionate encounter. But also financially, again, because Venus is about money and Pluto is the god of wealth, okay? And they're in a sextile, and it's in your 8th house of other people's money, and also in your 6th house of work. So something that you've been working on, or you could get a call about a job this day, anything like that that's going to be financially beneficial to you. Money coming to you again as well. And then on the 15th, Venus in Pisces is going to square Jupiter in Sagittarius. Again, this is overly optimism, but you know what? If you want to take a risk, take a risk. Live a little. Just don't make any major decisions, okay? Major decisions or sign any contracts unless you looked at them previous to. But you will be feeling like anything is possible, and you know what? Anything is. So have fun with it, but just be careful about making promises that you can't keep, okay? And on the 17th, Mercury is going to enter Aries. That's what we were talking about, you perhaps wanting to expand your knowledge, go back to school, learn a new subject, or just sit at home and research on the internet. Whatever it is, you're going to want to learn something new. You're going to want to find out the answer to something. That's what the 9th house is all about. Some of you could make travel plans or hear about travel plans as well, because Mercury is the messenger, the communicator. So when he moves into your 9th house, you can get information about those of you that have been applying to schools or applying to, any type of learning facility. You can hear back from them, or you can get contact from them as well. And then on the 20th, Venus is going to join Aries in your 9th house of higher learning, travel, and all that stuff too. So on the 20th, you guys might be making plans to travel. Some of you might be traveling or going somewhere for sure with both of these energies there. Also, you'll get favoritism applying at schools during this time period, or learning something new. Learning a new language even. This is also the house of politics and stuff like that, or court cases. So if you guys are waiting to hear back on a court case, or you want to start one, that's the month to do it. That's the time to do it when Venus is in Aries, and that's going to be on the 20th, okay? That's when Venus is a highly benefactor planet, so things will work in your favor. On the 24th, Pluto is going to turn retrograde. We already talked about that. Take care of your health. On the 27th, Mars is in Gemini is going to square Neptune in Pisces. And this energy is really interesting because Mars is the warrior mentality and Pisces is the compassionate, sensitive, watery sign. So here we have the square between the two. So you could feel like you're walking in a swamp, or you might feel like you lost direction, or you don't know where to go, or you're just not going to feel as aggressive or confident as you normally would. And there can be a temporary kind of stagnant feeling of like, I don't know what to do type of feeling, because Mars wants to take action and Pisces is, dissolving it. And just like, so it's really good for creative stuff. Again, I'm telling you, this month is just all about creativity, love, and romance. That's pretty much what it's about. But for you guys, it happens to be with money too. So a lot of money too. Love, romance, creative endeavors, and money. But Mars square Neptune is good for dance, for if you're an athlete, you can come up with some creative ways of doing things, as well, and dance. Anything like that, it does add a great deal of creativity to your actions, okay? And then on the 29th, Saturn in Capricorn is going to turn retrograde. So again, that's about your health. And then we have the full moon on the 19th in Libra, and that's great illuminations, realizations, and set your intentions, okay? Because they will come about with the full moons and the new moons, all right? So I hope that you guys found this helpful. I'm sending you positive energy for all the best. I hope you guys have great success in love, romance, and money and career. It looks like a really good month for all of that. So thank you so much for joining me. If you'd like your own personal reading or just to read all about astrology, you can visit my site at www.illumeastrology.com. Otherwise, until next time, again, thanks so much for joining me.